ultimately, I really like to be over here, but if you're passing somebody, you're really not going to lose a lot of time if you come to the inside. Right, Greg, how much time do you lose? You don't even know, right? It's probably nothing, right? All right, but this is the most important part of this corner is, and this is where a lot of people are having problems, is finding out where the slowest point of the corner is, all right? Ben Spies, I don't know if everybody knows who Ben Spies is. Well, when Ben Spies went overseas, right, he obviously didn't do any of those tracks. And that first year he went over there, he was kicking everybody's ass. And they were like, well, what are you doing? He goes, all I did is I found out where the slowest point of the corner is. That's exactly what I did. I found out every corner where the slowest point of the corner was, and I went as fast as I can to it and as fast as I can away from it. That's it. To tell you the truth, it makes a lot of sense, believe it or not. You're an advanced rider?
No.
He's getting there.
All right, who's the advanced rider here? Advanced rider. You're going to be my guinea pig. Go into this corner with your bicycle and stop where the slowest point of the corner is.
Oh, this is good. Place your bets.
Noah? Stop!
In the grass.
No, okay.
He went too far.
No. Oh, that's it?
No.
Oh. Okay.
Oh, that's Olivia.
You stop where you think you should be. See, he's a bad guinea pig because he knows exactly where it's at. And I like using guys that don't know where it's at.
Yeah,
Okay? Now, how many people put this as the slowest point in the corner? If I make that the slowest point in the corner where he was originally, and I see way too many people making that the slowest point in the corner, what do you do at the slowest point in the corner after you do all your braking, downshifting, whatever you have to do? That's the slowest point in the corner. I get off the brakes, and then all of a sudden you get back on the throttle. All right? What happens to the motorcycle when you get back on the throttle?
Standing up.
What? You start standing up, and your radius becomes bigger, right? So what if I have to tighten up? Stay over there. What is wrong with you? Right? Your radius becomes bigger. So what we're seeing is a lot of people, what they're doing is they're making a slowest point in the corner early. They're getting off the brakes, and now they're starting to roll on the throttle and add lean angle at the same time. And I can tell you, as you walk around here, you're going to see straight marks going off the track. That's why. That's why. Okay? You're adding lean angle lean angle and throttle at the same time. No. All right, let's go exactly where the slowest point of the corner is.
Live with BillSink.com.
And I'm not really too concerned about where you are in this area. Okay. Like if you're a little bit wider, it doesn't matter. Actually, if you're a little bit wider, you can probably get a better drive out of here. But this really doesn't concern me. What concerns me,
I love how it asks you to tag the person just by seeing their face.
How many people get off the brakes before they get to this point?
Oh, yeah.
How many people get off the brakes before they get to this point?
Probably most.
Probably most.
Most.
Yeah. Yep, probably most. This is the object.
It's because there's people in my way.
So I would think you need to brake later then.
Yes, you need to get those brakes, stay on those brakes all the way to this point. Because now if you're on the brakes, you got a load in the front tire, or you have a load in the front tire, you're in control of the motorcycle, and you're controlling your radius with your brake lever. You're controlling your radius. So when I come through, I can tell you right now, I come through here, every time I come through here, it's different. I've been through this corner about 1,000,000 times, so thousands of times, and I swear to God, I don't think I ever took this corner exactly the same every time I came through here. But guess what? I need to be in control of the motorcycle. So how I'm in control of the motorcycle, if I carry the brakes through here, right, I'm still on the brakes, they'll have load in that front tire, right? I could adjust where I need to be until I'm happy with my speed and direction out of this corner, and right about here, you know what? I got direction out of here. I could just about start rolling on the throttle and start taking away lean angle. All right, right about here, maybe even a little bit later. Now, if you're getting off the brakes here, all right, if I'm getting off the brakes here, what am I going to do? If I crack the throttle open, right, the motorcycle is going to want to go wide, right? Well, I don't want the motorcycle to go wide. But guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to start adding lean angle on the throttle right here. Look at all these straight marks. Yep. Look at all these straight marks. They're all here for a reason. They're all here for a reason.
Is that from rolling on the throttle and relieving the tire pressure?
That, or
Okay.
what they're doing, that's one of them, because I see that. What happens too with these scrape marks is you're getting off the brakes abruptly, right, without having direction, all right, and I see the front end go too on that. So that, a lot of this is front end and rear end over here, so it's about equal.
People crash here?
Are you hitting this apex, or are you coming wide on this apex?
Okay, good question, good question. On this first apex here, I'm a little bit more closer than Greg. I think you're right on it, right? Pretty much that one?
A little bit off.
You're a little bit off? Yeah. But guess what? That doesn't matter to me. You know why it doesn't matter to me? If I'm utilizing the brakes, right? I'm in control of the motorcycle. It really doesn't matter where I am on hitting that apex.
Don't spill your coffee.
What's that?
Don't spill the coffee.
I didn't bring enough vodka out here, man. So, but that's a good question.
We are
because, to tell you
after
the
hours.
truth, This point where the slowest point in the corner is, if I go real tight to that apex, right, and get to this point right here, this is kind of a pie right here. It's pretty tight here. I have to do an abrupt movement pretty much to get that direction right here. Well, guess what? If I leave a little room on that first apex, this is a smoother transition out here. So if that's more comfortable for you to leave a little room there on your first apex, anytime you see a double apex approach to the corner like this, that first apex, it doesn't matter if you really get close to the edge of the track. The second one is, all right? Except if you're on a small bike. On this particular corner, that's what I love about this track. The little bike line is so different than the big bike line on this track, because the little bike line, you kind of do hit that apex there, Andre, and you don't even really have to, because you don't even really have to pay attention to that, right? Yeah. The reason why is because I could still roll on the throttle, right, on that little bike, and still make it around this corner. If I have to force myself to hit that apex on the little bike, I would have to roll off the throttle. It's not cost effective to roll off the throttle on those little bikes. All right? So if I can still stay wide open on that little bike to get around here and miss my apex, I'm gonna. Okay? On the big bike, anything like a 600 and above.
Yo! Crazy Chinese guys shooting us with automatic. Let him loose.
On the big bikes, guys, all right? We're looking to drive out of this corner, and I can tell you right now, you've got to start getting close to that apex to drive down that next corner. Again, and speed.
So if you've never been to NYST at night, this is kind of what goes on.
Found this spot and did not. Oh, I was talking about when we were utilizing the brakes, right? The motorcycle turns in less time and distance, right? So when I see people come through here, right, and they're because they drove out of this corner, and when I see them starting to swoop out to the left side of the track to swoop back in, that's the first indication that they're not using the brakes for this corner. All right, because if you use the brakes, the motorcycle turns in less time and distance. I can actually even turn from there if I use the brakes.
That's a good hill for the skateboard.
Okay, now when you drive through here, get down this straightaway, right? We're complaining about mid-track,
Look how the incline is up this hill.
On the little bike, Andre, what do you do on the little bike?
Stay on the gas.
Let's see. Wide, actually, briefly wide, and then actually wide pretty much all the way around.
It's almost a late apex approach.
Yeah.
Okay. Now on those little bikes, they're using a late apex approach because when we do this double apex approach, like I was talking about turn one, that pie area in the middle of that direction change, right, where the slowest point of the corner is kind of pie-ish. It's kind of a real sharp. Now on those little bikes, we got to soften that up as much as we possibly can. All right. So on those little bikes, on something like this, I would leave room on that first apex. And he even says he leaves a lot of he even late apex to this approach. Most of us are on 600s and above, so let's discuss what we're doing on the bikes that most of us are on, except these homo guys over here.
Yo, take it easy on the. Yo, Marco, look at Bill needs the
Andre,
sauce.
You're on the 600, right? Yeah. Show me the slowest point in the corner.
A 300?
No, he's on the 600.
I'm on a 300. I'm gonna go. Oh,
Yeah, I'd say about here.
oh, he's copying me.
Actually.
Yeah, because I'm on the gas right here. Once I have my direction, I'm on the gas. But usually I come out right to here. As soon as I get my direction, it's time to put the sauce on. Oh. Little G. Wait, was I close? No, was I close to the slowest point? You can slow everywhere, so you're pretty good. So, yeah, there it is. Positivity training. Okay.
All right. This particular slowest point in the corner is actually wide. It's a big slowest point in the corner because I'm coming through here. I'm carrying the brakes until I'm comfortable with my speed and direction out of here, or at least I'm comfortable with the radius that's going to carry me to through the rest of this corner. And it's right about
I'll
here.
tag him.
I noticed as I was riding today that particular first cone was a little bit early. I catch myself actually getting off the brakes a little bit earlier than this particular cone here. Yeah. Okay? So I would say it's a little bit maybe over here. Okay? All right, this is where I catch myself off the brakes, right? But yet again, I'm not getting back on the throttle until I got some direction out of here. So by the time I get to that next cone over there, right, that's when I can start taking away lean angle, right, and adding throttle. So the slowest point of this corner is actually from these two areas here. This is a wide slowest point of the corner. I hate that. I
You don't
hate
brake. You're done braking there.
You're
you
kind of
start
done
gassing
braking.
there.
Yeah, you're kind of done braking here, and you might go back to maintenance throttle, or you know, I'm pretty much stagnant almost for a short amount of time until I have direction out of here. All right, until I could see my apex, right, and my exit. I could start taking away lean angle and then throttle. So, all right, Greg, what do you do here?
About the same.
About the same, right?
Yeah, stop braking somewhere here, maintenance, and
Yeah,
then
yeah, you're
start
kind of
accelerating.
maintenance. Yeah, so you're kind of doing.
Because it's
nothing.
kind of long corner, so
Yeah.
it's hard.
I hate corners like this because me personally, I like keeping a load in the tire, one of the tires at all times. All right. I hate not having a load in the tire, and particularly here, once you're off those brakes, right? If you're not going back to the throttle and rolling on the throttle, putting that load into that rear tire, you're pretty much not loading anything here. So I'm real dainty on the motorcycle with the controls, right? I'm being as smooth as I possibly can in this particular area, especially between these two cones here. All right. Well, let's go over to that next cone right there.
Ride the seam basically between those two cones. That's
Um,
come out neutral.
Yeah, somewhere in here. You know, somewhere in here. It's not that crucial. I mean, this particular line is not like this wide to goes through here. You know, it's you know, anywhere in this area is fine. Yep. Any questions, guys? Ladies, no? Who's getting off the brakes way earlier than we're talking about? Me. Okay.
I get off the brakes on that car.
Way up
Just
there.
past that
Apex.
apex.
I'm going back to turn
All
one.
the way down.
I was actually dragging later.
Really?
Yeah.
Awesome, awesome.
Is
Because the thing is if I can make this, see these two cones where the slowest point in the corner is, if I could somehow shorten that up, that is a big plus. These two cones, if I could bring them together somehow, because if I could bring them together, that's going to make me faster around this racetrack. So how can I make these together? Somehow carrying my speed deeper into this corner and braking later. He said he was braking later. I wasn't going that fast today. So I was catching myself braking, getting off the brakes a little bit earlier through there. That's why I just backed that cone up. Maybe we should make that cone a little bit later. So test yourself tomorrow. Brake to that cone, all right? Or brake past it. If you're catching yourself really coming there, hey, that's good. Because you still have a load on that front tire. You're still controlling the motorcycle. So if you could stay on those brakes past there, it's even more beneficial. All right? Let's go to any questions on this.
So where are you?
Right about here. Right about here. Yeah.
Because now you have your direction.
Yeah, I got direction out of here.
I know where I am too, right? You know, I'm opening the gas up there, you know, maybe.
Okay, all right. So you open up the gas. The thing is that this is so hard.
Moto
to
G
do.
girl
What you're
Michelle's
doing
running
is you start
circles.
cracking that throttle open. If you stay maintenance throttle, okay.
Yeah, maintenance
It's okay. But so many people I see starting to roll on the throttle, especially if you start like rolling with your buddies and trying to catch up to them. What I see is people start rolling on the throttle here and adding lean angle and lean angle and throttle at the same time. And that is the biggest no-no on the motorcycle. You would never see a MotoGP guy adding lean angle, all right, and throttle at the same time. You would never see that, all right? We see that on track days quite often, all right? All right, let's go down to the next corner, guys. Race days all the time, right? Watch it on TV. Guess what he does? He stays with the brakes until he has direction. The last thing he adds to the equation is lean angle. The last thing. That is the last resort. What we see here at the racetrack is people utilizing that high risk of adding lean angle to start correcting themselves. All right? All right? Stay with those brakes. Does it make sense?
Yeah, I know that.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. Let's stop where the slowest point of the corner is. Motorcycles going to the outside. Stay on those brakes until you have direction. Right here, wow! This is a radius that I feel that is going to carry me through here. This is a big difference, believe it or not. 10 feet here. You get off the brake 10 feet here, you're pointing that way. Here I am, adding lean angle, right? Adding risk, and getting on the throttle. Oh, not good, not good. Yeah, this is a telltale sign right here. All these scrapes going off the track.
Everyone's saying that curb hit their knee, and her knee has never been the same since. I don't know.
Yeah, I know a couple people.
That curb right there, I guess so.
This corner is pretty long too. It's kind of the same effect that it is in turn 2.
Hey, Billy.
For a long period of time.
Good question.
All right, so I'm off the brakes. Again, I'm off the brakes when I feel like I have the direction, or I feel like I have the radius that's going to carry me over here, and it's somewhere about here. All right, it's a little bit further, a little bit earlier, right here. Right, and then we're pretty much not doing too much on the motorcycle. We're pretty much maintenance throttle until we could start picking up the lean angle and taking away. Pick up the lean angle and start adding throttle, and that's where that next cone is.
Billy, got a question. So this guy John wants to know. He goes, "Why isn't that apron on an Apex start sooner? Why is it so small?"
I didn't build the track. I'm sorry. Well, I didn't build the curbing.
So it could be
I
longer.
helped build the track, but no. Yeah. Technically, yeah, we need more apron there.
Okay.
And at the slowest point of the track, where are you at? Okay. Somewhere around here. Okay. But guess what? You know what? Sometimes I come through here and I go too fast. Right? I miss it. Right? So guess what? I'm going to stay on the brakes until I have direction. So sometimes I'll catch myself out here, but I'm still going to stay on the brakes. I got direction. I'm okay now. All right. So pretty much, yes, there's ideal places where we need to get off those brakes. That's the ideal place, right? But we don't sacrifice that place if you're going wide on the corner. We still stay on those brakes until we got direction. And sometimes we blow corners. Sometimes I'll be all the way out there, right? So I'm gonna have to stay on the brakes until I get direction out of here. All right. So I don't know if that kind of answers the question. I love it. All right, so this is pretty much straightforward from here. Obviously, we're straight line up over Wheelie Hill. Let's all go to turn 10. All right, there's 2 different approaches to this corner, and I'm going to tell you what works for me, and the other way doesn't work quite as well for me. It works for a lot of fast guys here, but it doesn't work too well for me.
On the other side.
From Europe. He's supposed to be on the left side?
He's from Europe.
All right, well, obviously this is S's here, right? The quickest way through S's is to make the straightest possible line, right? Some people say that. Make the straightest possible line through here, right? Well, if I make the straightest possible line through 8, 9, and 10, by the time I get to 10, that straight line ends up at the apex of 10, all right? So at the apex of 10, that's where I'm going to make that direction change at the apex, and then roll on the throttle and go. All right. I don't know if it's cost effective to make this straight line here, or to get a perfect setup for 10, so I could roll on the throttle earlier for 10. Me personally,
I like
Greg,
the setup.
I like the setup better. I like to start rolling on the throttle before I get to the apex of 10, because after turn 10 is a pretty, you know, it's a decent straightaway. It's a spot that we could really roll on the throttle and gain a lot of speed. So it might not make sense to what we're talking about right here, but let's go to the apex of 10 and look backwards, and it might make more sense to you.
Where's this guy? See everything. We get it all. Okay. Alright, you ready for my tip? You ready for my tip? You go that way, straight, really, really fast. If something gets in your way, turn. What movie was that? Better Off Dead. Right here. Beautiful dog. Turn 10. Where's the slowest part of turn 10? I know. Is it to the left of the bumps right here or right? Very good question. I would probably say right before apex, right? Yeah, absolutely. Bill, what's the slowest part of this turn? We're just, yeah. Ah, see that?
Turn 8, this section of corners here. If I make the straightest possible line through those sections, right? That's the S's, right? This is where the motorcycle lines up, right? So turn, make the straightest possible line, right? My motorcycle lines up here. Well, guess what? I'm on the brakes here. I gotta I have to tighten up here. I'm looking for direction. I got direction. Now I can start rolling on the throttle here. All right. Is that faster to take that section there and make a straight line through it, or is it faster to late apex, where the cones are set up, how they're set up? They're late turn-ins, late apexes, right? Late turn-in, late apex, late turn-in, late apex, and it sets me up to the left side of the track there. Now, what Greg just said is he takes that approach and he gets the motorcycle turned in direction right there. He rolls on the throttle back there through this corner. Look at how long he made that straight, right? This is 100 feet difference. So he just added 100 feet to this straightaway. And what does that mean? That means 100 feet longer I'm on the throttle, right? I personally take this approach. This is how I take it. Me and Greg take this approach to this corner. I lay apex, and to get the perfect setup so I can roll on the throttle through this corner. All right. Some people feel that taking this straightest line through here and making all that speed through here to get here, they sacrifice this straightaway here. All right. Because here they can't roll. I mean, you just cut 100 feet out of this straightaway. So, depending on, I know, because a lot of fast guys I know take this approach, and I don't know, it works for some people. It doesn't work for me. So I'm trying to give you both ways of doing this particular corner.
It works for me. No, I'm kidding.
What I noticed is some of those guys that do that, because when we sat over here in the middle and watched the 300 series race, they'll do that straight line, but then they'll do something weird where they flip the bike over really early. And maybe it's just difference in the bike. They flip it over really early and make a really big turn out of 11 and 12.
That's where we pass.
It's like one turn.
Yeah. On the little bikes again. On the little bike, well, I probably would we take that? Where's Andre? Because he rides the little.
I think they're open through the whole
What do you
section.
do here?
They're open,
It's
right?
open all the way. It's
Yeah.
pretty much straight in this, right? And
Yeah.
it doesn't matter if you're getting on the throttle here or here because you're always on the throttle.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. On the
I
little
think
bike,
after
it's
the Willie
different.
Hill, I mean,
Yeah.
you pass the Willie Hill,
Yeah.
you open till freaking you turn in.
See,
Until
I
turn
love
10.
little bikes, but a lot of those little bikes, you're missing a lot of technique of riding on those little bikes.
They're 300s and people are getting offended. There's a lot of people upset when you say little bikes.
You know what I mean, like
It's 300s to be correct.
Oh, geez.
This wasn't open yet.
All right.
I didn't open it yet. All right.
Live with Bill Sink.
All right. Any questions?
Get on the throttle on those 600 or liter bike. You can get on the throttle back there, and you would leave it pinned until you were approaching 11.
No.
Understood?
Yeah, this is how I do this. I late eight because we have those cones set up. If I follow the cone layout, is I turn a little bit later, I apex a little bit later, turn a little bit later again, apex a little bit later where those cones are right there. Now, if I apex a little bit later there and I use the brakes for direction change, right? And if I use the brakes for direction change, my motorcycle turns in less time and distance, right? So there I go. I could be able to turn that motorcycle, get that direction change way back there, and start rolling on the throttle there and roll on right through this thing. Right through here. Okay, I'm adding throttle here, and what am I doing when I add throttle? Right? Am I taking away lean angle if I add throttle? I am. I will never do the opposite, right? So I'm taking away, guess what? My end result is I'm going to be more towards the right side of the track for that particular corner.
Which is okay.
Which is okay. If I what? If I use the brakes for direction.
Joe Saragusa, you're on, buddy.
Turn in less time and then
Oh shit. Brandon, hold on, Brandon.
up to the right side of the track over there. Because I'm going to use the brakes to turn the motorcycle. And if I use the brakes to turn the motorcycle less time and distance, I'll get direction change in a very short amount of time. All right, and off I go for that next series.
Brandon Posh is watching you right now.
Oh,
What do you want to say to him?
He never listens either.
Not like e-power. Doing a whole 13 miles an hour. Can we up to 14? Turn 11.
Right? Greg said, so what? Do you agree with that? I agree with it.
Yeah.
Because if you use the brakes for your turning, for direction change, right? Again, using the brakes, less time and distance, I'll be able to make this transition very easily. Now, when I see people over here, they wind up over here, and do you ever see anybody swoop out there to make that corner? All right? Guess what they're doing? They're not using the brakes because they're looking for time and distance. So if I don't use the brakes, I need more time and distance to get over there. So how am I going to get more time and distance? Give me the swoop. I'm going to swoop that way, right, for more time and more asphalt, more real estate, more time and distance. All right? Again, if you utilize the brakes properly, you'll be over here and you'll be able to turn into here with no problem whatsoever.
Yeah, man, we gotta get some weed treatments up here. Some weeds I've never seen before. And that's where everybody goes. Just like this. Slow motion. Into the wall. Hold your line. You're skipping that.
And I caught myself in this area today, making a report card for myself, saying, looking at that cone, saying, am I somewhere near this cone? Because I put it out, and it's kind of hard to judge when I'm just walking the track. And I was pretty close to it. So sometimes a little bit before it, but somewhere in this vicinity. All right. So try to carry those brakes a little bit deeper into this corner. Okay. And again, the slowest point of this corner is pretty wide. You're really not getting on the throttle and driving off this corner for a while, and that's where that next cone is. So let's start where this next cone is, right here. I like this. This is one of my favorite spots on the track.
To pass.
The pass. The pass. You know why? What do I see from here?
Straight line.
Oh, I see a straight line. I see straight in towards that inside there. All right, I'm taking away lean angle, adding throttle. I see that straight line up here, right? I'm staying on the throttle, straight into the inside of the track there. Go ahead. Look at that. All right, guys, so here's my end result of that beautiful straight line that I created by coming out mid-track, carrying those brakes down the hill. And this is, right, look at that relatively straight line here. And that was awesome. I was able to stay on the stay on the gas a lot later, and also brake a lot later because I'm relatively straight up and down right here. I could start, and most of my braking is done while I'm still straight up and down. Okay, but now we're talking about the slowest portion of the racetrack, and who knows somebody that crashed over from this point on? How many times do you see crashes over here? Okay.
Right up.
All the time.
All the time.
And I'm going to tell you a reason why. And probably you know by now, since you had that whole track walk with me, is they're releasing the brakes before what? Before the direction change, right? The slowest point of the corner. Andre, go to the slowest point of the corner, please.
Too far.
Who is getting off the brakes before that point?
Oh, yeah.
Who here is getting off the brakes before that point? You cannot, I don't care how much money you have in your pocket, you will not be able to pay me to get off the brakes before that point. All right? This is where everybody's crashing. They're unloading that front tire and still need to do a direction change on that front tire. And that's why they're crashing on the motorcycle. They don't have that direction change. Make sense? Right? If I'm able to keep loading that front tire until I have direction change, and that direction change is pretty deep over there. It might, hey, it's not heavy braking, but it's lighter braking still. By the time I get to that point, I'm maybe 1% brake, but I still got some load into that front tire.
Probably if someone's swooping, you can get away without. But if you go kind of straight, you gotta go deeper into the brakes.
Oh, right? Why would I swoop out there?
You shouldn't.
No, you shouldn't. But again, how many people you seen swoop? Or no,
Shitload.
not even before you get to this spot. How many people here before you this straight line that I'm talking about? How many people here see people swooping?
Oh God! Every day, every time.
Every single time.
Intermediate
Why are
group,
they sleeping?
because they're not make. I don't know. Poor training.
What is going wrong? And I finally got it after third time. I pass him on the inside right here, and I see him standing up. First time, second time, third lap.
Why are they swooping out? Because they're on the gas, on the throttle.
They're swooping out because they're not using the brakes properly.
Ah.
All right. Now, because in order for me to get over there without using the brakes, what am I going to need? I'm going to need time and distance, right? I'm going to need time and how am I going to get time and distance? I'm going to swoop. I'm going to swoop. That's how I'm going to get time. If I'm using the brakes properly, I turn in less time and distance. Guess what? I could stay to this inside line, and I could get direction by the time I get over there. And once I have direction there, I have that straight line out of here. Make sense? I want to thank everybody for coming out and doing the track walk.
Yeah. Good job, Bill Singh.
Hey, hopefully I changed a little bit about your riding.
I have a totally different perspective.
Do you really? Awesome. Awesome.
We were debating not riding tomorrow. Now we have.
Lose everything. That's the truth, man. I was thinking the same thing. Really? Yeah.
Like math homework. Nobody does it after they learn it.
When you get it right.
This is pretty helpful. I'm going to actually do this more often. I just hate walking because it takes forever to walk. So that's why me and Mike were like, hey, bicycles are fun.
I guess we have to get one of those too now.
Yeah, so we'll do the bicycle. No motor.
Track bike walk. So we're going to keep doing this. And if you're ever interested in coming out and see the track from a different perspective, look at our posts. We're going to try to make this happen more and more. So we're going